Okay, let's look at intervals. So an interval is described as a way of measuring the distance between two notes on the stave. Okay, so think of it like this: you need two notes to create an interval. You can combine many intervals to create chords, and intervals are a really important way of understanding how music works. You can use it to compose music and to develop your melody lines and all sorts of things like that. Intervals are broken into two parts. First part is the quality, so major, minor, augmented and diminished. And then the quantity, so the distance, so second, third, fourth, etc. Listed below are the intervals found within an octave. Notice that each of the intervals have the quality and then the quantity. So major second, major third, perfect fourth. Okay. Now when measuring intervals, you count the number of semitones between the two notes. So we can kind of think of, when we're using the piano, we can kind of think of it like a step ladder. We're stepping up the keys of the piano. Over here on the right hand side of the page we have the intervals or semitones for each interval. So a minor second has one semitone in it. Okay, so when we're looking at the piano, we're going to maybe look at C to E, and we're going to step our way up to these notes. So we've got a C and an E. Let's find out what the interval is. So when we step from C, we go 1. Okay, you do not count the starting note as your first step. You're stepping up from the C. So that's one step there. Then the second step down to the D natural. Then the third step is up to E flat. And then finally the fourth step is to the E natural. So we've got 4 semitones. Alright, if we have a look at our list over here, if we look on the semitones part of the list, we can see 4. So we've got 4 semitones in a major third. Right. Now let's have a look at how this works when we're dealing with notes on the stave. So if I go over to the next page, notes on the stave. So we've got treble clef only. If I draw a few notes in on the stave, and then we can start to figure out what the intervals are going to be. Okay. When working out your intervals, first of all it's important to identify what your notes are. So over here I've got an E and a G. Okay. Then on the next in the next bar I've got a E flat. And then once again a G. Okay. So now that we've identified the notes that we're moving to, let's go back to the keyboard. So we're going to work on the first interval. Okay. Okay, so let's have a look at the keyboard. So we're moving on the first one from E natural to G. If we have a look, let's circle our keys that we're going to. So E natural, and then we're going up to a G natural. Alright, so if we count our steps, now have a look at the F. There is no black key in between F. Okay, so this is one step from E to F. You can see that between B and C there is no black key either, so C is the next key directly over from B. Okay, so we've got one step to F. Then we go up to the G flat for our second step, then back to the G natural for our third step. So we've got 3 semitones in this interval E to G. So if I have a look over here, 3 semitones is a minor third. So what I'll do is I'm going to list this as a minor third, and I'm going to write it shorthand. So when writing minors, I want you to write lowercase m, lowercase I, third. M-I, third. Okay, let's have a look at the next interval. I'll just erase what we've got here. we have E flat to G this time. So if we have a look back at the keyboard, let's find E flat, starting there on the black key, and then we're going up to G again. Now let's step our way through it. So first step is going to the E natural, second step to the F, third step up to the G flat, and then the final fourth step is to G. So we have, in this situation, we have got 4 semitones, which is in fact a major third. So over here, when writing majors, I want you to just use an uppercase M. These are just shorthand ways of writing minor and major. And you'll see these if you read chord charts, guitarists and piano players. You'll see quite often you'll have a chord that might be written like this. C, M, I. Or C, capital M. Okay. So that's how to read and measure intervals on the stave. And how to step it out using your piano keyboard. If you're unsure of how to do this, make sure you're familiar with tones and semitones. It's really important you understand what a semitone is to be able to measure intervals. Alright, we're done for now.